Good afternoon, everybody. It is Sunday in Midtown Manhattan. We are right here at the Moynihan train station overlooking the Empire State Building. And as I last looked, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500 E-mini futures contracts, and the NASDAQ 100 are all positive. Crude oil futures are up about 1%. We'll see if it holds throughout the night and into tomorrow morning. And we'll talk about the markets to look ahead on the stream tonight as I see Maya. Hey, Soho guys here. What's up, Soho? Good to see you. Sierra friend, long time no see. Hope you're well. I see Hunter Butler. I see Jeff says hello from Jersey. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Savi? What's up, everybody? So guys, really important to pay attention to this week. The Federal Reserve will end its two-day meeting on Wednesday at 2 p.m. So we are going to find out a lot. We're going to find out if the Fed plans to wind down its asset purchases faster than expected. And this could cut about $30 billion per month. And that is twice the current rate. And we're also going to find out potentially how many rate hikes, if any, are planned for 2022. So we're going to talk about that and more on the stream. Hey, Parrot, I see you. Alex Gray says, I thought you were in Vegas. I just got back. I just landed probably 2 hours ago. VA says, namaste, bro. NNB045 says, you're back. Otto is here. Lee says, good evening. Valentina says, hello, Tom. How you doing? I'm doing really well. William Creech says, good evening, everybody. What's up, everybody? Yes, so I just got back from Las Vegas. Lady O says, hi, Tom. How was Vegas? It was really good. It was really, really good, but I can only stay in a town like Las Vegas for a couple days. I can't really stay there too long. Michael Johnson, how are you? What's going on, Michael Johnson? VA says, when USA going to pay their debt? Well, I think Biden just came out and said that we're just going to keep expanding our debt to pay back the old debt. And I think that's what's called a Ponzi scheme. Interesting. Joey's here, says, good evening. Lee says, remember what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. Vegas for about probably actually less than 24 hours. I had a work event that I had to attend, but all good. Alex says, can we see a pic of you in your holiday party outfit? I didn't really wear a holiday party outfit, just a suit, just actually I didn't even wear a suit. I just wore my white shirt and Patagonia vest. Maya's here. It looks like some event is coming out of the Madison Square Garden, everybody. But I thought we would do a quick trip to the one and only Hudson Yards tonight. Good to see you, Maya. Soho says, yo, Tom, what happened if the Fed doesn't stay the Fed? What do you mean by that, Soho? Could you clarify for a little bit? So let's head to the Hudson Yards. It's going to be a pretty short stream tonight, but I wanted to cover a couple things because we had a good weekend, but now it's back to work, whether we like it or not. So we're going to walk towards the Hudson Yards. But on Wednesday at 2 p.m. is when the Federal Reserve concludes their meeting. So we're going to find out a lot. And usually right around the time that the Fed ends this meeting, the markets start to get a little bit volatile. And that's because there's a lot of speculation on the street in relation to how dovish or how hawkish the Federal Reserve is going to get in terms of tapering their asset purchases and even raising interest rates. So, have a lot to talk about tonight. Alan Wilson says, good evening, everyone. I wasn't expecting to walk tonight. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either, but my flight came in a little bit early from Vegas. So I'll give you guys one last look at the Empire, and then we'll head to the Hudson Yards. Hey, Photos from Around New York is here. Says, we're back in New York City. Indeed, we are. Jay says the Rangers hockey game just ended. Very cool. Sally says, hi, Tom. Beautiful night. What's up, Sally? Good to see you. Will P says, good evening, pal. Nice views there. What's up, Will P? Good to see you. Thank you for your email. VA says, it's 8 a.m. here. I'm watching your stream while getting ready for my college. Well, good luck at college. Good luck at class. And I see Ice is here. What's up, Ice? What's going on? Good to have you here. So in addition to the Fed, Well, if we take a step back, the last I checked, which was about 15 minutes ago, futures are green across the board. And I believe the S&P 500 E-mini futures are actually printing new all-time highs in futures trading tonight. And crude oil, as we know, is up. But let's see if it holds, because cryptos are down across the board. Charlie Richardson is here. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. Hope you're well, Charlie Richardson. I Revis says, hi, Tom. Looks like a clear night. It's raining over here. Good to see I Revis as always. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope everyone had a good weekend. But now, unfortunately, back to work. Hey, Robert Muhammad says, hi, Tom. Man, it's so windy. Photos from around New York says, you missed 100% of SantaCon. Thank God. Old Brooklyn says, let's take a walk to the Port Authority station and see some sketchy stuff. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Times Square Port Authority stuff. So I think we'll avoid that for now. But Charlie, good to see you. I Revis, good to see you once again. Let's see if we can make it to the Hudson Yards. Outdoors 247 says the garden looks like a bombsicle. Sally says beautiful view, Tom. So we're here on West 33rd Street and 9th Avenue, headed towards the Hudson Yards. And this is where it usually starts to get a little bit windy. So we'll see if we can make it. We'll find out. Hey, NMB45 says, I'm seeing so many TD banks around New York City. I'm Canadian myself, and I don't understand how a Canadian bank could have so much market share in New York City. Yeah, well, I mean, in New York, there's so many banks, right? But TD is actually very popular here. Very popular. So let's check out the Citrovia. Citrovia is over here, and I believe that they covered it in snow. So we'll take a quick look before we head to the Hudson Yards. Pretty chilly out, 43 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 degrees Celsius. Roy is here, says, hi, Tom and all mods. Good Monday morning from my side of the world. Happy Monday, Roy. It is a windy, cold night here in Manhattan, and all the lemons are covered in snow, which is always good. I wonder how long they're going to leave this up for. Hey, Kirby says, happy Monday from the Philippines. Lady O says, no skateboard tonight. No skateboard tonight, Lady O. I just got off the plane like 2 hours ago. So unfortunately, no skateboard. Kirby says, happy Monday from the Philippines. Welcome everybody from the Philippines. Hope you're well. So this is Citrovia. Citrovia is here. Hey, Sunshine After Rain is here. Good to see you, Sunshine After Rain. Kirby says Ghost Town. Well, the city's actually pretty packed tonight, surprisingly. Photos from around New York says Citrovia is an installation to make the under area of the scaffolding nicer for the duration of the scaffolding. I'm not too sure about that, but perhaps you're right. But another thing we have to look out for this week is the National Association of Home Builders reports its December Builder Confidence Survey. And the Commerce Department releases its housing starts numbers and building permits data numbers. And this is extremely, extremely important. And we really don't talk about this much on the stream. So we're going to go into it because it is extremely important. Hey, Jason says, what up, Tom? Finally, glad to hear from you. This is Jason. Good to hear from you too, Jason. We're here at the Hudson Yards outside of the NHL store. Alan Wilson says, I wonder if when they take it down, if they're gonna make lemonade. Hilarious. That's funny. But Kirby, good to see you. Jason, good to see you. And you can see the top of the Empire State Building from here as well. JK says, Lady O, Sunshine Tom, good evening. What's up, JK? Joining us from Canada. Hey, Crypto Mafia says, how was Vegas, Tom? Vegas was good. Vegas was good. So I landed in Las Vegas last night at about 6:50, and the party started at 7, and it went to about midnight, and then I woke up and came back to New York. So it wasn't bad. Games says, hello. What's up, Games? Sally says, beautiful view. Kirby says, Tom, how are you? Kirby, I'm doing very well. I wish the same for you. Good to see you, Kirby. Long time no see, my friend. Hey, and Karen Alcatraz is here. Says, hi, Tom. What's going on? What's up, Karen? Megs the Fun Guy says, I'm proud of you, Wall Street. I'm proud of you too, pal. This is a great shot of the Empire. Looking east, looking east. JK says, I stayed in the Cosmopolitan in November in Vegas. Where did you stay, Tom? So I stayed, I think, in the Virgin Hotels. It was like Virgin something. Virgin Hotels, I believe. Grosserman 86, how are you? What's going on? Says, good evening, Tom and everybody. So I'll give you one more good shot of the Empire and then we'll head out. But once again, everybody, the National Association of Home Builders reports its December confidence survey, and the Commerce Department releases its housing number starts and their permit data. So what does this mean? So Jason Gates says, Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, Jason Gates. So what does this mean and why is it important? Well, the main reason why it's important is because whenever somebody submits a permit for a house, to build a home or some sort of, any sort of residence, this costs the developer money, right? So we can sort of use this as a leading indicator into the overall health of the housing market. And I'll give you an example. Let's say if you're a big home builder and you forecast that you're going to be able to build and sell about 2,000 homes next year. Well, a lot of that data will show up beforehand in the permit data, so the new permits. So when this data comes out and there's, let's say, year over year, a change of 19% increase in new permit submissions from the prior year, well, that is a leading indicator that not 100% of the time, but oftentimes can tell us that there's going to be strong demand for housing going into the next quarter. So we call these leading indicators. And I also like to bundle these indicators on top of earnings reports and some of the home builder stocks. So we'll talk about that today. Jason says, Merry Christmas to all. Santa Monica Rodriguez is here. What's up, Santa Monica Rodriguez? Taga Kale says, hey, Tom, NYCFC won the Copa MLS the other day. Very cool, Taga Kale. Good to see you. Marty Lewis says, hello, Tom and everybody. Jason Gates says, nice shot to come into live to the Empire State Building. Always good to see you, Jason Gates. Hope you had a great weekend. Valentina says, how was Las Vegas? Las Vegas was pretty good. I'm not a big Vegas type of guy, though. I'm not a big partier. So I think Vegas is only good for probably 3 days. Anything after 3 days, Vegas is a no-go for me. And one of the reasons for that is because I'm not used to people smoking inside, right? So in a lot of the buildings in Vegas, because there's casinos there, obviously, everybody's smoking inside, which gives me a massive headache. So not too keen of that. JK is looking forward to your conversations on leading indicators here, Tom. Interesting. Yeah, so JK, the housing starts is probably the biggest one, right? In terms of the overall health of the housing market. But as we talked about in the newsletter last week, Toll Brothers, if a luxury home builder here in the United States. I'm not sure if they build houses in Canada, but they're pretty big in the United States. And Toll Brothers reported a fantastic quarter, a really, really strong earnings report. And they actually forecast that they're going to be able to deliver over 2,000 homes next quarter. And I believe the average price of a toll builder home is $840,000. So these are pretty expensive homes. And they're selling like hotcakes based upon their earnings report. Very strong earnings on an EPS basis and very strong revenue. Very strong top line growth too. Rick's has agreed Vegas is good for about 3 days. Then after that, you got to get out. 100%. I'm just not a big fan of Vegas. Outdoors 247 says markups passed on to consumers. Ireva says, I hate that when in an area if there's any kind of smoke. Agreed. Christian Wilson says, my portfolio is looking great, can't lie. What's up, Christian? JK says, great news on home deliveries, bull market. Photos from around New York says, I still cannot believe that we used to have indoor smoking throughout the United States. I mean, I don't even think I was alive during that time. Well, maybe, but I don't remember it. I really don't remember it. Only time I've noticed it is when I was in Vegas. NNB045 says, if the housing starts are mostly condos rather than single family homes, what does that say about the housing data? Well, this is usually for like single family homes and residences. Right, so we use this as a leading indicator for demand. So it sort of trickles down, right? So here's the three things that I look for in terms of, let's just call it the single family housing market. Number one, obviously, is the earnings. For a lot of the single family. Ooh, it's so windy, guys. That's the only downfall when we go to Hudson Yards. It's so windy. Outdoors 247 says people smoked on planes back in the day. I think I would probably die. Really, really brutal. God, guys. Hudson Yards is no fun. Okay, so I'm going to duck behind this building. So here's the three things that I look for in terms of the health of the housing market. Number one would have to be the single family home builders' earnings. Are they posting good EPS and are they posting good revenue and are they selling houses? Number two, which is a little bit of a creative way to gauge the health of the overall housing market, is to actually look at some of the luxury furniture builders or furniture sellers, right? So last week, luxury furniture retailer RH, the ticker symbol is RH, they posted amazing earnings. So their EPS or earnings per share was up about 13% to $7 and I believe 3 cents. Their revenue was also up 13% to about $1 billion. So these are all leading indicators. If people are buying furniture, excuse me, I have a client calling me. But if people are buying furniture, what that means is people are buying homes. And when people buy homes, they have to buy furniture to furnish those homes. So it's all showing up in the data. And tomorrow, we'll see if it'll continue into the next couple quarters when we have the housing start data comes out. JK says people smoked on buses and movie theaters too. It's nuts. That is nuts. MTC says hi, just subscribed from the ATL. Thank you, MTC. Good to have you here. Sunshine After Rain says can't believe smoking in hospitals. That is just wild to me. If that's true. Smoking in hospitals, that's nuts. JK says RH expensive. Yeah, very expensive furniture they have. Rick says ratio used to be 1 home equals 200 jobs, says Rick. What's up, Rick? Jason Gates says you have us in chat, but does it sometimes get lonely walking the streets of New York City alone while streaming? Not really. Not really. Valentina says, is the vessel still closed? I think it is. We're gonna have to go into the mall here, guys. Maybe we'll do the stream in the mall, show you guys inside, because it is brutally windy outside. Poon Adams says good evening. Good evening. But the Hudson Yards is beautiful with all the lights. It is one of my favorite places during the summer. The winter is extremely windy. Guru Chahal says, what's up, bro? What's going on, Guru? Good to see you. Flex Stream says the vessel is going to be torn down next year. Is that true? That's horrible if that's true. But I totally understand why. Photos from around New York says apparently they're letting some people in the vessel for pictures on the ground floor, says Photos from around New York. Dams Block says, how could you ever be bored with all the bustling there? I agree. I agree. Lady O says, I remember when people smoked in hospitals, work, supermarkets, and restaurants. Secondhand smoking cancer put a stop to all of that. Yeah, I mean, it's really, to me, it's inconsiderate. So it was a real big culture shock going to Vegas yesterday. And the moment I walked into the hotel, there was a casino in the basement of the hotel. And I just started coughing. I could not stand it. And they had really good ventilation systems too. But I guess the rules are different over there in terms of smoking and... Oliviara says, I love it. What's going on, Oliviara? Hope you're well. JK says, yep, Lady O, bang on. Yes, the secondhand smoke, there was probably a bunch of lawsuits that were swirling around at the time. Cheryl, how are you?
Nate, come here.
You know what we'll do, guys? I'm gonna put on the mask so I don't get tackled when I go inside. And we'll walk around inside and see what's going on. So Lady O says regarding the vessel talk about taking it down, it's not official. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, they definitely have to come up with a solution, though. They have to come up with a solution because there's too many people that are unfortunately doing bad, committing suicide, which is horrible. So I hopefully they won't take the vessel down, but they have to do safety precautions. They have to put up some sort of safety precaution. Photos from around New York says here is from the vessel website. Access to the ground level base is free and open to the public from 10 a.m. Interesting. So this is the inside of the shops at the Hudson Yards. Jay Leto says this is really considered Midtown. Well, we're gonna walk around a lot today. JK says I gotta see the vessel and then they can knock it down. Oh, so you gotta see it in person. NJB says hello, hope you are having a great day or night wherever you are. Thank you, NJB. James says hello, everybody. What's up, James? James Davidson. Jay Leto says vessel where? We just passed it. JK says this mall, for some reason, gives me a headache, Vegas-like. Oh, this is nothing like Vegas, man. Vegas is really, really, in my opinion, a little tacky. Hey, Joe Hernandez says, hey, Tom and everybody. What's up, Joe? Good to see you. Long time no see. Nicole says, hey, Tom and Chad. What's up, Nicole? Atomic Skittles. Good to see you. Rick says, you're near Little Island. Nice place. I'm Tati from Brazil. Very cool. So we'll walk around because it's very windy outside, and then we'll come out the other side, and maybe we'll head up to Rockefeller Center. Yeah, Alan Wilson, you make a very good point. I just think they should put nets around the entire thing. That's what I think. I think they should just put nets up around, and I think that should fix the problem. Hopefully it will. Because unfortunately what happens is once somebody does, I don't want to say the name of it or the word because YouTube doesn't like that, but once somebody does it once, it usually attracts more people to do that specific thing at the same sort of location. Lady O says, Tom, are you in the city till New Year's? No, so Lady O, I'm gonna go back to Miami, Florida, and then I'm coming back for Christmas and New Year's. Jason Gates says, Brian Williams' last day at NBC was Friday. Rockefeller Center reminded me, I saw that today. Yeah, I never really watched, ever since I was a kid, I never really watched the news. I usually get my news from like YouTube. But yeah, I think he's a pretty famous reporter. Yeah, you're right. Copycats. Sally says it's beautiful. Emily, how are you? Wow, but look at the ceiling here. It's beautiful. JK says a lot of these storefronts are marketing. You're right. Nicole says the lights look beautiful. Arjan says hi. What's up, Arjan? M. Sai says hi, Tom. ZXW says hi, Tom. What's going on, ZXW? Good to see you again. James Davidson says Miami, Florida, nice and warm down there. Absolutely. But good to see you, James. But next week is going to be very, very important on Wall Street. Very busy. Going to be a very, very busy week. As we know, the Federal Reserve is the #1 thing that we have to pay attention to. And at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Wednesday, the conclusion of the Federal Reserve meeting, and we are going to get a glimpse if they are going to accelerate their asset tapering program. And we'll probably even find out if the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates next year. And if so, how many times they will raise rates. But always remember, I think this is the most important thing to remember, regardless of what the Fed says tomorrow, if they are going to taper asset purchases even more, or they're going to raise interest rates, it's most important to actually look at the Fed's balance sheet. Because when we look at the Fed's balance sheet, that's not all talk, right? That's not nonsense. That's actual reality. So when we look at the Fed's balance sheet, we could actually see if they're tapering or not, and not just the virtue signal of the Fed, so to speak. Dante Rose says, hey Tom, sorry, I hope you had a good weekend. What's up, Dante? I hope the same for you. Roosta says, swore I saw the devil in the empty glass of Hennessy. All right. Cosmo Scary says, hey Tom, just came back from Diker Heights. Awesome, man. How was Diker Heights? Andrew Lee says, what up from Queens? I was just there today. Nice, Andrew. Cosmo Scary says, yes, the vessel. I love the way it looks this time of year. Andrew Lee says, enjoy the night. You as well. Arjan says, any the airport today. R. Hernandez G says, go to little Spain. Maybe we will. Mesh K says, what about this complex name? NNB45 says, sorry, I might be clueless, but where can I find a copy of the Fed's balance sheet? So it's available for free on their website. So if you go to the website of the Federal Reserve, you're allowed to see their balance sheet. And I think I programmed it into the Nightbot. I'm not sure if I did, but I believe I did. JK says they just approved the raising of the debt ceiling. Yeah, they usually always do that. So this is always a big news story, you know, once every couple of years. And what happens is everybody's fighting about it. The Republicans are fighting, the Democrats are fighting. But really just what happens is it comes down to the wire and then they raise the debt ceiling again. So it's just a news story. It's a big nothing every year. You know, we live in a world, unfortunately, at least in the United States, of just exponential debt acquisition. Michael Johnson says, do you predict Fed raise interest rates on Wednesday for next year? Yeah, so Michael, we're supposed to see if the Fed is going to raise rates and how many times for next year. They're probably going to say that they're going to raise the rate twice. But for me, I don't even think they're going to raise it at all. So it's probably going to experience some volatility in the markets on Wednesday, right at 2 p.m. But depending on how the market performs, I think Monday or Tuesday, I think that's how the Fed is going to react. But again, like I say, it's more important to understand and pay attention to what the Federal Reserve is actually doing than what they're saying, right? Because they're going to virtue signal to the market, just like they've been doing for this past year, that inflation is transitory, inflation is nothing to worry about. And then Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell gets on the big news in the media and tells everybody, well, you know what, we're going to retire that term transitory because actually inflation is getting out of hand because we just had a CPI print of 6.8%, which is crazy, which is really, really nuts. So inflation is running wild. So the Federal Reserve is going to do anything to kick the can down the road. So what I think we've been seeing over the past couple weeks is we've had a massive sell-off in extremely high beta growth stock names. So these are the stocks that are growing their revenues and growing their earnings extremely, extremely fast, probably about sometimes 100% quarter over quarter. And these particular stocks tend to trade at extreme multiples, especially during an environment where rates are extremely low. So these stocks have been getting hit, I think, because the market is pricing in a couple rate hikes. Hey, Lewis. What's up, Lewis? JK says CPI 6.8 is nuts. JK says Fed pump intervention will continue. The narrative on inflation is changing to it being a good thing. I know. Isn't that crazy? I saw a couple articles on Bloomberg about, you know what, inflation's actually a good thing for you. You know, it's all the big virtue signal. But this looks beautiful here. These two big Christmas wreaths. Hey, James Davidson says, I hope the Republicans take back the House completely in November of 2022. Cheryl says, can we see you on cam? Maybe. Carl IL says, can we go to Columbia? Perhaps. Lewis says, damn bro, damn God, normal talk. Again, these losers have too many days. Not sure what you mean. Rick says, do you think Putin will invade Ukraine? I do not think so. JK says, I can't see rates going up. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it. Savi says, India Miss Universe. Hey, British Gray is here. What's up, British Gray? Good to see you. British Gray is joining us from the one and only Tampa, Florida. I wonder what the weather's like over there, British Gray. Probably a lot warmer than here. Miguel says hi. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you. Great Walk is here. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Troy 1995. What's up, man? Good to see you. Deja Vu says, any views on BCH? No views on that. I'm not interested in Bitcoin Cash. Troy 1995 says, so few people in the mall. Lewis says, cash is trash, says Lewis. Melanin MYA says, no, we don't want Republicans in power. YUSHARA says, bro, this mall is dumb, empty, like I hear voices but no humans. Troy 1995 says good to see you too. Hunter is here. Says Hunter here. Hope you're having a great night. I am Hunter. Hey, Shot by Scott is here. What's up, Scott? So we'll exit the mall and we'll head to Macy's, 34th Street. Miguel says happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Miguel. Hope you had a good weekend. Dino is here. What's up, Dino? Says hi, Tom. What's up, Dino? This is Canada is here and Talvish is here. What's up, Talvish? Hope you're well. Back out into the tundra, the cold. Rick says kind of looks like Vegas in there. Rick, I came from Vegas and I can tell you it doesn't look like Vegas. Tortellini says crypto has a 4-year cycle. Diego says, do you think crypto will one day be regulated? Yeah, I mean, I think that, in order for you to get institutions in here, you need to have regulation. But I would argue right now, it's already, regulatory agencies are already starting to step in here. Alex says, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs who put their whole savings into crypto because they predict that cash will no longer hold value. Do you agree? I don't agree with that premise that you should dump all of your life savings into it. But I do agree with the premise that fiat currencies tend to not hold value. That's proven. We just had a CPI print of 6.8%. So the new hurdle rate is 6.8%. So if you're not growing your assets or growing your portfolio by at least 6.8% every year, your purchasing power is declining and you're actually losing money. So to that regard, I agree, but I wouldn't agree with the premise that I would house everything in there. Troy 1995 says CNN just got Chris Wallace. Wow, British Grace is 87 degrees in Tampa, Florida. Sierra C says, just got all my Christmas shopping done. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Hey, you too. Thank you, Sierra C. Appreciate you. Talvish says, Tom, will you be in New York on New Year's Eve? I will. I'll be here for the holidays. Christian says, what Tom said, I concur. I got to put on that. Good to see you, Christian Hansen. All right, we're going to cut to the right here. But we may start to buffer a little bit. I just don't like walking right behind people in a big traffic jam. It's freezing out. Hunter says, what's for dinner, Tom? I went to a soup place, Chinese soup place. It was very good. I ate that today. Hey, Edson says, hey, Tom, what's up, bro? What's up, Edson? Jerry says, keep your core hot. Sherry says, great thumbnail pick. Would be you in front of a tree. The Songbird says, hi, Tom, from east of Sacramento, California. Awesome, Songbird. Troy 1995 says, Chinese soups, love it. Julio B says, where are you? Hudson Yards. Yes, we are. We just left Hudson Yards. Now we are near the Citrovia. Hey, Carolina Tom says, glad you made it back, brother. Thank you, Carolina Tom. Appreciate you. Shot by Scott says, hockey is my spirit, or hockey is my sport. Hunter says, awesome lights. Alex says, do you know how to cook? I do know how to cook, Alex. What about you? But it is cold tonight, everybody. The Songbird, good to see you. Cheryl, good to see you. Jerry, long time no see, good to see you. Mr. Cold says, who needs a retirement? Some of us will work until we bury ourselves in the ground. That's how hard we work. We have to dig our own hole. Wow. James Davidson says, used to live in Brooklyn, New York many years ago, and now New Jersey. How do you like New Jersey? So you know what? During the pandemic, I actually used to go to New Jersey quite often. I used to go to Hoboken every single weekend because Hoboken, New Jersey was open. So you could eat inside, you can do indoor dining, and everything like that. But New York City was totally shut. This was during the time, like really, really deep in the pandemic where you couldn't even eat inside. So a lot of people that were living in New York City would actually go to Hoboken, New Jersey. Hey, Francisco. What's going on, Francisco? The Songbirds is beautiful, high definition. Shot by Scott says, was Ken a really famous hobo? I'm not sure. Yeah, JK says, wow, Hoboken is a nice place. Francisco GM says, hi, everybody from Chile. Welcome, everybody from Chile. So I guess we'll start to walk back up to Macy's. James says, I was born and raised in Brooklyn until I moved out to New Jersey. Very cool. Hey, Rodriguez says hi. Ritz won the grades. His first time watcher, digging the vibe, subscribed. Thank you, Ritz won the grade. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Mr. Colt says, be advised, your microphone is having some ooh-woo wind issues. Yeah, it's really windy today, so we're not going to really have anything to do about that. Unfortunately, I have to get a mic. But everybody, two things to watch out for while it's not really windy. Number one, so the Fed's two-day meeting ends Wednesday at 2 p.m. And we're going to find out if the Fed plans to wind down its asset purchases faster than planned. This could cut by $30 billion a month, twice the current rate. And we're also going to find out how many rate hikes, if any, for next year. And we're also going to get housing starts data, which I think will come in pretty strong. And housing starts is a good leading indicator to look at, as well as single-family home builder earnings. And we had Toll Brothers report earnings last week. Very good report. And we also had luxury furniture maker RH, ticker symbol RH, report better than expected earnings, beating almost every analyst on Wall Street's expectations. So these are some of the things we have to watch out for, right? Because there's multiple segments of the economy that need to stay healthy for everything to function and markets to go higher. Because over time, GDP growth will determine if the market goes higher or not. If we're having positive GDP and the housing market still looks healthy, but in my opinion, all of the gains are really geared towards the top 10%. You know, if you look at a company like Toll Brothers, the majority of the homes that they build are around $840,000. That's not cheap. Shot by Scott says, Tom, my wife is single-handedly responsible for RH going up. That's funny. NJB says, anyone seeing Spider-Man No Way Home? Hopefully I'm getting my ticket tomorrow. You know what? I haven't been to a movie in a while, so I may have to check it out. Checkers X is here, says B&H. Yes, we just walked past B&H. Man, that's one thing I hate about New York City, though. During the winter, is it's always crazy windy here in New York. Like, really windy here. Hey, the Swan is here. What's up, the Swan? Good to see you. The Swan is joining us from Ireland. JK says MSG. Yeah, so we are right outside of Madison Square Garden. The one and only MSG. And I think somebody in the chat just told us a hockey game just let out about an hour ago. NJB says Madison Square Garden is awesome. Oh, it definitely is. I think it's probably my favorite sporting arena of all time. James says it's supposed to warm up starting tomorrow. Thank God. And you know, James, it was surprising. When I landed in Vegas yesterday, it was freezing. I thought it was going to be really warm. I should have checked the weather, but it was freezing. And the Swan is joining us from Ireland. Here's the view of the Empire State Building for you, the Swan. So this is West 33rd Street and 8th Avenue. But this week, everybody, we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're going to have an entire stream dedicated to cybersecurity. We're going to talk about the new threat that is sweeping not only the nation, but the globe. So we're going to have a total dedicated stream to cybersecurity. We're going to talk about some of the cybersecurity stocks that have been getting hit really hard lately. But I think that is one industry that is poised for a ton of growth, a really, really massive amount of growth as we move further into this decade. And it's always good to look at these particular companies for job opportunities too. NJB says globe, not for flat earthers. Hilarious. Hey, the Songbird says, Tom, are you live nightly? Yeah, so we usually go live every night. Sometimes we take off like 2 days. But I would say at a minimum, it's usually 5 nights a week, I would say. So let's go with that. Maybe 5 nights a week. Hey, Marcelo says, hey, Tom, what do you prefer, Florida or New York City? I prefer Florida in the winter. So during this time of year, I prefer Florida. But during the summer and the spring, I prefer New York. What about you, Marcella? Jason Gates is when you get to that McDonald's, get a burger. JK says 34th Street, Penn Station. The iconic Penn Station, JK. Hey, JK, have you ever taken the train from Canada into Penn Station? Tortellini, what's up, Tortellini? Says, do you ever eat fast food? Very rarely. Hardly ever I ever eat fast food. Hey, the Swan says, Tom, what's the thing that's happening worldwide you're referring to? Yeah, so the Swan, we're going to talk about, we're going to have a dedicated stream. Probably, I would say Tuesday, in relation to cybersecurity. And it's called Ransomware as a Service. Ransomware as a Service. So essentially there's gangs filled with hackers swirling around the globe that are actually just like creating a SaaS, like a software as a service, but for ransomware. So people on the dark web could actually purchase a subscription to ransomware to either infect corporate entities or governments. And it's really crazy. And now there's actually global alliances that are geared towards deterring these cybersecurity threats. So team dedicated to that. Very interesting. I think you guys are going to like it a lot. Shot by Scott says, I wonder if all the cybersecurity career hype is another trend like everybody getting Microsoft certifications back in the 2000s. Yeah, I don't think that's the same at all. Mainly because, you know, I'll just give you a real world example. Every day I talk to chief technology officers across healthcare organizations, construction companies, consulting, and all of them have to allocate a budget to cybersecurity spending. And that's because ransomware, emotet attacks, and really any sort of cyber attack can cost corporations millions of dollars, and if not billions. And we've already seen some extremely high-level cybersecurity attacks, one of which this year that shut down an entire oil pipeline, the largest pipeline in the United States. So it's not even a necessity, it's you need it. You absolutely need it. It's not just in demand, it's an absolute necessity. All right, everybody, so we were outside the Macy's. Outdoors 247 says, who are some of the leading providers of publicly traded cybersecurity? So a couple companies that we've been talking about a lot on the channel, and where I have a lot of friends who work at these companies, CrowdStrike is one of them. Ticker symbol CRWD. Another one is Zscaler, ticker symbol ZS. Then you have companies like Palo Alto Networks. And if you want to talk about a specific form of cybersecurity, such as identity and access management, or IAM, you could think about a company like Okta or Ping Identity. And Ping Identity was actually brought public by Vista Equity Partners. So I think you're going to continue to see exponential growth in the cybersecurity market. As we talk about a lot on the channel, whenever we're formulating an investing thesis, one of the main sort of points that we try to look for is a growing total addressable market, or a TAM, as it's called, TAM. And cybersecurity, I believe, over the next 5 years, corporate spend on cybersecurity is going to grow at least 19% per year. So that's pretty significant. Hey, Sabrina Fair is here, says hey. What's up, Sabrina? Always good to see you. Happy Sunday. Patty C64 says hello. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing very well. Good to see you, Patty C64. JK says Canada's main revenue site had to shut down due to cybersecurity concerns. Yeah, so exactly what JK said. You know, there's been so many ransomware attacks, not just on private businesses, but on governments as well. Christian says, but government doesn't change software too often. Yeah, so depending upon, so let's say if you have a cybersecurity sales job, right? Depending on the vertical you're selling into, you're going to have very different sales cycles. So in the industry, it's called your sales cycle. So if you're selling into small and medium-sized businesses, you're going to have a very short sales cycle. But if you have if you're selling into the enterprise, like Fortune 500 companies and the like, you're going to have an extremely, extremely long sales cycle. Same with government. Cool on 516 says it's nice to leave Florida in the summer. I agree. JK says government and military, huge issue right now in Canada. Jameson says it's better to invest in crypto or stocks or both. So I can't really advise on that, but what I personally do is I have an allocation to both, right? Because what you want to do is you want to have exposure to equities over the long term, but also you do want to have a hedge against the massive debt acquisition bubble we have over the world. The globe is in a massive, massive debt bubble. So if you can own something that's not a unit of debt, that's a pretty good hedge. Hey, David says, hi, Tom. Is the market on graphene production? Could you rephrase that, David? I'm not sure what you mean. Tortellini says, I don't think they're bad people. Hunter says, are the street hot dogs any good? No, they are not any good. See the stars in New York City skies. So we are not, due to the light pollution. Due to the light pollution, we are not. Hey, Michael Rosa says, hi, how are you? How have you been? I've been really good. Marcelo says, my family and I prefer Florida, but we have friends in New York City, so we visit them some days, but only in the summer. I think that's a pretty good plan there. Robert Murphy says, Rob Murphy, Grand Falls, Windsor, Newfoundland, Canada. Very cool. Jerry says, hedging your bets is investing in street hot dogs. I agree with that. I think I can get behind that. Deanne says the best New York hot dog is Nathan's in Coney Island. So you know what, Deanne? I very rarely ever go to Coney Island. But if you look straight ahead, you could see the very top of the One Vanderbilt building. Vela says, I bet all your friends are as smart as you. Hope you also have a great sense of humor. Thank you, Vela. Appreciate it. Hope you're well. Christian says, hedge funds bet on risk. Sabrina Fair says, Tom, you were conveniently skipping my comments. No, Sabrina, the chat is going so crazy tonight. And the majority of the chat is like spamming, so I can't, it's very difficult to read, but I apologize. I'm trying to read everybody's comments. I apologize, everybody. So we'll head up towards Bryant Park. Hey, Juan Suarez is here. What's up, Juan? Yeah, so anybody, if I miss your comments, I'm not doing it intentionally. Because number one, I'm getting a flood of text messages from clients, so I have to wipe them away from the screen. And it is extremely windy, and I'm holding a briefcase, so it's very difficult to scroll through the comments and do everything at the same time. And you have flying trash cans. So it's a lot. Sabrina Ferris says, I know you are. JK says, LOL briefcase. So JK, something funny happened. I used to have the sling that I would sling over my shoulder, but that broke. So I gotta get a backpack, because my backpack, all the straps continuously break. So I gotta get new ones. Hey, Bike says hello from Brazil. What's up, Bike? Good to see you. Juan says a briefcase, nuclear codes. Hilarious. Jerry says a man's briefcase is a lot about his shoe girth. Interesting. The Swan says he got hacked. Yikes, the Swan. That's why it's very important to set up two-factor authentication. Eric says, Tom, you missed Miami yet? I'm sort of missing it a little bit. Not gonna lie. But New York City is beautiful this time of year. Very beautiful. The only downside about New York during the winter is that it does tend to get a little bit more windy than usual. NNB045 says, are you sure the cybersecurity stream will be on Tuesday? I want to make sure not to miss it. It will be on Tuesday. DN says, support locally owned businesses during the Christmas season. Lady O says two-factor authentication is a lifesaver. I agree. So for my 2FA, I use a Twilio product. So I guess you could also use, Google. I think Google has its two-factor, but I use a Twilio product for mine. But I definitely agree with what the other commenter just said, is support local businesses during the holidays. Definitely agree with that, 100%. Hey, Paulo's here. Says, hola, saludos from Chile. Thank you, Paulo, for joining from Chile. Hello to all our Chilean viewers. Otto says, Tom, when's your newsletter coming out? Yes, so Otto, I should be dropping that tomorrow night. This week was so crazy and so hectic with traveling from Miami to New York, to Vegas, from Vegas to New York. So it was very difficult for me to get it out, but I should have it out tomorrow. The Behind the Street newsletter should be out tomorrow. Cosmos says Twilio has a 2FA app. Yes, they do. Flexstream, it's going to be snowing 5 feet on New Year's. Jeez. Charlie Richardson says cybersecurity is so important because everything we do is digital. Cheryl says, Tom, do you mind sharing how old you are? 26. Good to see you, Cheryl. Yeah, but Charlie, I think you have a good point, right? And I think that if you remember, right around 2009 and 2010, when a lot of large corporations were adopting cloud services, their number one objection why they would not want to move to the cloud was because of security reasons, right? And that's why if you look at the industry segments that are the slowest to transition to the cloud, it's actually healthcare. And I think the main reason for that is because of all of these different regulations in relation to HIPAA compliance. You need to keep patient information as safe as possible. So there's still a lot of fear out there that you can get hacked or attacked. So I think cybersecurity is a must in order for every single industry segment to adopt a cloud business model or cloud-centric. Sabrina Fair says, but the cloud can shut us down. So I believe Amazon's AWS server had a major outage last week. So I think AWS was down for like 2 days. Hunter says Dunkin' Donuts. Tortellini says I'm 26 as well. Very cool. 26 is a very good year. Very good age. William says hello and Merry Christmas. What's up, William? Good to see you. Hope you're well. NJB says I'm 35, going on 8, according to my ex. That's funny. Troy 1995 says our company uses Amazon AWS. Sabrina Fair says, how was Vegas? Vegas was good. I was only there for probably less than 24 hours, but I had a holiday party with some clients. It was good. Thank you for asking. Hey, Victor says, any snow in the forecast? So Victor, I'm not sure about that, but I will tell you that during Thanksgiving, it was actually snowing. It was snowing a little bit in the city during Thanksgiving. Cool on 516 says, I'm forever 29. James Davidson says, I wish I was 26 again. Hey, Victor says, I'll be there Saturday. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna have a really, really good time, Victor. So this is the One Vanderbilt building. Looks like a beautiful building. Hunter says, where's your skateboard, bro? It is at home. I just got off the plane, Hunter, about 2 hours ago. Sabrina Fair says, 56 is the next 30. Sabrina Fair says, my 20s were a hot mess. BB says, we appreciate you doing the stream, reading the messages, and skateboarding. That is a lot of multitasking. AWS impacted a lot of companies last week. Yeah, BB, you're right. Well, first of all, thank you, BB. Appreciate you being here. And you're right. Yeah, the AWS outage impacted a lot of businesses. So we'll take a walk around the Winter Village here in Bryant Park. Ooh, look at this, guys. Check this out. Look at all this trash. Now, I will tell you, when I was in Vegas, Las Vegas is very, very clean, even though there's a lot of crazy wildness going on. It's a very, very clean place. And I could say the same thing with Southern Florida. Southern Florida tends to be extremely clean. Like, you will not see anything, not even a straw, not even a plastic straw on the ground. There's nothing. Everything is spotless. But here in New York, that's, but we're getting a new mayor, so I'm optimistic that I think they're going to clean it up. Jerry says 30 is mean age to own a Ferrari. This is Jerry. Hey, Tortellini says Los Angeles is messy as well. So this is the Bryant Park Winter Village. We'll take a lap around. We'll see what's going on. Yeah, Flex Stream, you're right. You're right, de Blasio is gone in 18 days, and then we're going to have a new mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. So Flex Stream, you're 100% right. Hey, Comic-Con Hunters has been watching your stream for a while and enjoy your financial talks. Hey, thank you, Comic-Con Hunter. We appreciate you being here. Hope you had a great weekend. Patty C64 says, I have eggnog and whiskey at the moment. Very nice. Edwin says, where would you buy crypto? So the exchange that I use is Gemini. That is my preferred exchange. However, since we're talking about the AWS outage, one of the companies that was severely impacted by the outage was actually Coinbase. And Coinbase is a publicly traded company, and it is a broker dealer of cryptocurrencies, Coinbase. And they were down big due to the fact that Amazon AWS had a big outage. Hey, Andrew H says, hello, Tom. New sub here. Really have been enjoying your daily streams. Much love from Southern California. Hey, Andrew H, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And hopefully sometime I'll get to go to Southern California because I've never been, but I would really like to go. I'd really like to go. Hey, Lena Sandoval's in the chat. What's up, Lena Sandoval? Yeah, Tortellini says we definitely need to reduce our plastic usage. That we do. That we do. Nicole says, I love how informative the streams are. Thank you, Nicole. So everybody, this is the Bryant Park Grill. Very beautiful place. NJB says, so being 26, you must play video games, Tom. I've never played video games, really. Never played video games. I'm not saying video games are bad. I just don't really either have any time to play them or even have an interest. Sabrina Fair says Tom would fit right in San Diego. Wow, this looks beautiful here at the Bryant Park Grill. Walter Elias says Gemini is the Winklevi's company What's up, Pat? Good to see you. Hope you're well, Pat. Specific topic every day. We mainly talk about the financial markets. So we cover the equities markets, we cover the bond markets, and we also talk about the latest and greatest tech. But usually on the weekends, we don't have a specific topic. We usually just walk around Manhattan. But the channel is mainly focused on analyzing the equity markets, not only domestic, but around the world. So this is the Empire State Building right here. And if you look at the colorful building, that is the Bank of China. Hey, Jamie C says, thanks for the streams as always, Tom. Jamie from Arizona. Hey, that's awesome. So I was just in Vegas. I just got off the plane, landed in New York about a couple hours ago. Hey, Jackie M is here. What's up, Jackie M? Says, love it. Good to see you, Jackie. Hope you had a good weekend. Happy Sunday. Daryl says, hello from Sydney, Australia. Can't wait to get over to New York. Please come. I have a lot. So I played soccer with a lot of people from Australia. Our school recruited a lot of Australian soccer players. Mark Friedman says, okay, sounds good. I subscribe. Hey, Mark, thank you. Looking forward to talking to you on other streams. Navi says, when population is being seriously affected by vax. This is Navi. Jackie M says, love Vegas. It's my backyard. Hey, Talbot says, Wall Street Scape-Bro. Good night, man. I will see you in the next stream. Talbot, thank you for joining. Jatton says, I thought you went to Vegas and won't return for at least a few weeks. No, I was only in Vegas for a holiday party with some clients for about 24 hours. The Doghouse says, Jersey has better pizza. Debatable. So if you look right here, this is the very top of the Chrysler Building in Manhattan. Hey, look who it is, everybody. It's Doug. What's up, Doug? Good to see you. Mark Friedman says, glad to join the community. Good to have you here, Mark. So, Mark, I usually also write a financial newsletter called Behind the Street. So if there's any time I'm not live, you can just read the financial newsletter for free. By just punching in your email or going to my YouTube community page and reading the newsletter. Masala says, how was SantaCon? So I was actually not in New York for SantaCon, thank God. I'm just not a big fan of the SantaCon thing. I think it's just because of my personality, but a lot of people have a blast. A lot of people like it a lot. But supposedly it was fun. A lot of people said it was a really fun time. Market for the coming week. Well, Jatin, the last time I checked before I went live, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the NASDAQ 100 futures contracts were all green, as well as crude oil. So we always like to watch crude oil. The ticker symbol for the crude oil futures contracts is CL exclamation point. But one of the main things that we have to look out for next week is that on Wednesday at 2 p.m., the Federal Reserve concludes their meeting, and we are going to see if they are going to be dovish on the market or hawkish. And a lot of analysts on Wall Street are expecting the Federal Reserve to announce a big taper of about $30 billion. So as you know, right now, the Federal Reserve is buying not only U.S. Treasuries, but also mortgage-backed securities in order to sort of pump a lot of juice into this market. But since inflation is running wild, we have, last week we got an unbelievable inflation print in the CPI. We got about a 6.8% print in inflation. So it appears that the Federal Reserve may have to taper and raise interest rates sooner rather than later. But as we like to say on the stream, it's not only about what the Federal Reserve is saying, it's really about what they actually do. And we can track what they do by watching the Fed's balance sheet. RL says, will the market drop if they double the taper? So what I think, if they really do start to taper, yeah, it would probably put a little bit of pressure on equity markets, especially the very high beta growth stocks. But that's why I think, as we saw last week and the week before that, a lot of these very high growth stocks, mainly in the software as a service space, these things have been getting clocked. These things have been getting hammered. So I believe Wall Street is pricing in a rate hike. Hey, Shadow King says, do you see the S&P 500 going over 10,000 in the future? I mean, maybe within the next 40 years. Yeah, maybe in the next 40 years.
Phones, headphones, cameras, and other electronic devices are not permitted on the ice.
Comic-Con Hunter, I know.
Please
Crazy.
step off the ice. Group 1, you have 10 minutes left to skate.
Hey, Peter says, you make me laugh, you New Yorkers, with your masks. Real sheep, says Peter. Good to see you, Peter. Hope you're well. Hey, TR61 says, hi, Tom. Merry Christmas from Houston, Texas. So I should be in Houston, Texas, actually, in February. So I'm looking forward to that. Never been to Houston before, looking forward to it. So we will walk up to Central Park. Hey, Sally, this is amazing stream, Tom. Thank you, Sally. Appreciate you. TR61 says, Tom, I watch you all the time. I know, I see you in here a lot. Thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying it. Lady O says 10:51 in New York City. Thank you for the time check, Lady O. T.S. Elias says, yeah, would be a damn shame if they were locked up in my house. Hey, Tyree is here, says hi, Tom. Nikki says hi, Tom. How are you? I'm doing very well. But everybody, could we just let's get a little bit of a taper here. I may have to start a taper on the Big C talk, because we already have 2 strikes on the channel and we don't want to get a third. Wow, so if you look directly in front of you, this is actually the ball that they drop on New Year's. So if you look straight in front of you, this is actually, you guys are getting the front row view of the ball that they drop on New Year's right in Times Square. Pretty cool. Hey, James Davidson says, Tom, how often do you live stream on Sunday nights? Usually we go live every Sunday. Usually we were live every Sunday. So this is Salesforce Tower, and Salesforce is a big software maker and really the pioneer in software as a service. And they actually just acquired Slack, which was a publicly traded company under the ticker symbol WORK. Cool on 516 says, will you stream on New Year's Eve? Yes, we will be live on New Year's Eve. Hey, James Davidson says, thanks Tom for letting me know. No problem, James. Thank you for being here. TR61 says, Tom, are the homeless people like they are here in Texas? Hunter Butler says, fun fact, Rolex is out of stock all over the country. Important Documents says, how often do you stream? So we usually stream 5 days a week. Sometimes we stream 7 days a week, depending on how busy I am with work. JX says, good night from Vancouver. How long do you usually stream? So we usually stream about 5 days a week, and the streams usually last around 2 hours or 2.5 hours. Exo says, what do you think about Airbnb as a business? I really like Airbnb as a business. Hey, Mark Davis is here. Says, good evening there, Tom. Hope all is well with you and everybody. Hello from Toronto. So everybody, Mark Davis has been following the streams for a long time, and he is so knowledgeable on the topic of medical marijuana. So Mark is from Toronto, Canada, and works in the medical marijuana industry. Always good to hear from Mark Davis. Good to see you, Mark. O'Neill Williams is watching from Cape Cod. Cape Cod is beautiful, O'Neill William. So O'Neill William, your name reminds me of William O'Neill, which is the founder of Investors Business Daily. And Investors Business Daily was actually just acquired by News Corporation for $250 million just recently. Wow, everybody, if the Swan is still here, the Swan, check out this view of your favorite building, my friend. Check that out. I am Will Wilson says, you can't talk about your worthless government or worthless YouTube without getting your comment taken down. We're telling the truth about the evil RYW doing value in gematria calculator. Alrighty. Hey, what's up, TJ? Good to see you. Raphael says, how do you like Uber? Sometimes I take Uber, not very often. William Wilson says, very pretty. Good to see you, William Wilson. Greg Labs says, very nice. What's up, Greg? Photos from around New York says, at 26, Mark Benioff was promoted to vice president, the youngest in Oracle's history. Absolutely. And he has a fantastic book, Trailblazers. So if anybody's interested in a good book for the holidays to get your loved ones or your family or your friends or whatever, That is one book I would recommend, Trailblazer by Mark Benioff. But everybody, in the next Behind the Street newsletter that I write, I'm going to give everybody a list of books that I recommend for the holidays. So if you're thinking about getting somebody a gift in relation to finance or anything interesting business related, I'm going to send you guys a list of about probably 20 to 50 books. So that's coming out this week. Teases is cold outside, very cold, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy tonight. Hey, Gia says goodnight. What's up, Gia? Good to see you. Hey, Robert says I'm watching from North Las Vegas, Nevada. Hey, I was just there. I was just in Las Vegas. What's up, Juan Vasquez? Good to see you. Hey, Penelope's here. Good to see you, Penelope. Hope you're well. Penelope is joining us from Tennessee. Hope you had a good weekend, Penelope. I am Will Wilson says thank you very much for having me. No problem. Please come back soon. So speaking about Jeff Bezos, because we were talking about Amazon AWS, their AWS server recently went down. If you look to your right, this is the Marsh & McLennan building. And this is where I used to work, right in this building. And there's one of the largest or most successful quantitative-based hedge funds in this building. And it's called D.E. Shaw & Co. And that stands for David E. Shaw. And this is where Jeff Bezos actually used to work as a hedge fund analyst before he started Amazon. And there's a funny story that one night after work, Jeff Bezos invited his boss for a walk around Central Park. And they walked from D.E. Shaw all the way to Central Park. And Jeff Bezos was explaining his idea that he wanted to create an online bookstore and sell books online. And David E. Shaw told Jeff Bezos, he said, well, you know, Jeff, that sounds like a really good idea for somebody that doesn't already have a really good job. And what he meant by that, he's like, you know, Jeff, you're working at one of the most successful hedge funds in America, probably clearing over $1 million a year easily, especially as a quantitative researcher. Why would you want to go off on your own and start a company? And I believe the next week, Jeff Bezos resigned from D.E. Shaw to start Amazon. So pretty interesting story. A lot of people don't know that. And the hedge fund is right in this building. It was actually 3 floors above my office. Right here in the Marsh & McLennan building. Hey, what's up, Roy? Good to see you. Fire Vids, how are you? Antonio says, are you in finance or sales? I work in tech sales. But you could also work in finance with working in sales, right? A lot of my friends work in the sales and trading department of the investment bank. And I guess you could also consider asset management a form of sales, right? Because if you work in asset management at one of the big investment banks, really your main goal is to grow the AUM, or assets under management, because the asset management division makes all their money from fee income. So this is the News Corporation, and they actually just burned down the Christmas tree here, I think last week, 4 or 5 days ago, and they rebuilt it. Hey, Solomon's is North Carolina here. Andrew says, where you go to school? I went to a CUNY school here. Joseph says, thanks for showing the Yale Club a few weeks ago. My dad worked there back in the 50s and 60s. Ah, very cool. No problem. XX says, Merry Christmas. Good to see you, XX. Alex says, do you ever get carpal tunnel from doing office work? Not usually. So we're headed up towards Radio City Music Hall in Rockefeller Center. Yes, British. The horrible, horrible tornado in Kentucky that killed about 70 people. So horrible. So British Grey, I agree with you. Hey, Solomon says, I am Irish too, Tom. Very cool. Very, very cool. Hey, Mark Davis says, Tom, congratulations on 7,000 subscribers. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you being here all the time. Man, it is freezing out here though tonight, guys, especially with the wind. Hey, Steve from Buffalo's here. What's up, Steve? Hope you're well. Steve, are you coming back to New York for the holidays? Hey, Snub TV says, thanks for having us for the live. No problem, Snub TV. Good to see you. Steve, you got to make a trip down for Christmas if you can. Ice is like the live, everybody. What's up, Ice? Hey, John Rambo says Rambo is here. So this is where they filmed the Tonight Show, right to the right. Jayton says, do you think Omicron will have any impact on what J-Pal says in the markets tomorrow? So I don't think so. I really don't think so. What I think the Federal Reserve has been doing is using the virus as a way to quote unquote kick the can down the road, right? Because essentially what we know what the Federal Reserve is doing is they're continuously buying mortgage-backed securities as well as US Treasuries. And every time we hear from the Federal Reserve, they say, you know, we need to keep a very accommodative monetary policy because we are not sure if this is going to be a bad variant or not. So what I think they're going to do is use these variants as a way to quote unquote kick the can down the road to continue to buy it all, right? So the Federal Reserve, whenever they buy bonds, now that we know that bonds move in an inverse correlation to yields. So when you have the Federal Reserve pretty much buying US Treasuries, mortgage-backed securities, it puts pressure on yields. And when yields are lower, it affects all markets, and it really affects how people can borrow money, especially for mortgages, right? And what a lot of people don't know is that the US 10-year Treasury yield is really more sensitive to mortgage rates than, say, the 30-year bond, right? So if we have a US 10-year yield at around 1.5%, and I think it's going to go lower, I think you're going to continue to see low mortgage rates of around 3%, maybe even sub 3% if you have a really good credit score going into 2022. And I think that's going to continuously fuel a boom in the housing market. Hey, Joseph Mendez is here, so say hello from Arizona. What's up, Joseph Mendez? Good to see you. Marty S, is this a banking channel? No, we usually go live 5 days a week, but we talk about finance and tech on the channel. That on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve is going to conclude their talks at 2 p.m. And we will probably find out if the Federal Reserve will continue to taper back asset purchases and if they're going to raise interest rates next year. And if so, how many? How many rate hikes? Hey, Techno Pink is here. What's up, Techno Pink? Says hello, my friend, hello. Techno Pink is our pal from the Dominican Republic that works in management consulting for Ernst & Young. So you can think about Ernst & Young, KPMG, Deloitte. Hey, John Rambo says, maybe I should do another movie down there. Hey, nice to see you. I subscribe to you. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hey, Kobe Bryant's here. What's up, Kobe? Good to see you again. Techno Pink, how's the weather down in the Dominican Republic? Mark Davis says, Tom, have you been to Central Park lately? So Mark Davis, I have some good news for you. I'm actually going to be up by 72nd Street in Central Park West tomorrow. So I'm going to take a couple pictures of the Dakota and send them to you tomorrow. Nikki says, wow, that is a tree. Yeah, this tree it looks really nice today, but I will say 2 days ago we were doing a stream down on Wall Street and the tree right outside of the New York Stock Exchange looks amazing. Snub TV says it's warm in Augusta, Georgia. What's up, Snub TV? Nikki Jeffers, what's up? Good to see you, Nikki. John Rambo, Kobe Bryant. 2J Hurst says hello from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Welcome everybody from Nova Scotia. Alex says, you may not watch TV, but what sort of shows do you watch? I don't. Complexity is here. Says, hey guys, what's up, Complexity? Techno Pink says, thank you, bro. The weather's not too hot, not too cold. Penelope says, I agree. The Wall Street tree is just as pretty. San Miguel says, good evening. Hey, Sam is our good friend from... Well, we got a full house of Canadians in the chat. We got Mark Davis, we got Sam. What's up, Mark Davis? What's up, Sam? Good to see you guys. We are... Sunday night in Manhattan. Paul's Growing Smokes, his first time watching your stream. How often do you live stream? We usually go live 5 days a week, and we go live between I think the signal's not good here though. Hey, Shadow King is here, says yes, buffering too many people in one area. That is true. Hey, Elizabeth is here. What's up, Elizabeth? Good to see you. Good morning from South Africa, says Natando. What's going on? Jatin says, do the Staten Island ferry trip once. Love watching Lower Manhattan. Maybe we will. Hi from Cork Rep Island, says Navi says, I should go to sleep, but I'm watching this stream. Thank you, Tom. No problem, Navi. Good to see you. Christopher Sands says, this is one of the great things about New York City. All the people out, no matter what time of day. Agreed 100%. JX says, do you guys think the tech stock world will sink tomorrow because of the Log4j vulnerability? Well, we've been seeing a lot of the tech stocks sell off, for the very high beta stocks sell off all last week. And I think this is because the market is expecting the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates. And a lot of these big tech companies, or if you think about a lot of the high beta stocks, which essentially means it has more volatility than your average stock. A lot of these stocks trade at premium valuations because their earnings are predicated in the future. So when interest rates go up, that means their earnings are now worth less today, priced in the future, if that makes sense. But when rates are low, the value of those future earnings are worth more right now. Does anybody know what time it is? Could we get a quick time check in the chat? Ah, 11:14. Oh, this is cool. I think this is supposed to be the Brooklyn Bridge. Alex says, what time do you wake up? Your live streams end late. You probably go home late too. I usually wake up around maybe like 8 or so. Ah, this is cool. You can see the people walking on the top of the bridge. Very cool. Ed Mendez, what's up, Ed? Oh, everybody, this is a Lego build of 30 Rock. So this is Rockefeller Center, but built with Legos. This is kind of cool. Hey, Bob Lewis says, hi, Tom. What's your thoughts about Tesla stock? So I really don't have any thoughts on Tesla stock. I think if you're talking about electric vehicles overall, I think the clear leader in that space is Tesla. I don't own Tesla stock as an individual stock, but I do own it as a part of an index, an S&P 500 index fund, but I don't own the stock outright individually. But if you're looking for your leader in electric vehicles, I would definitely say that it is Tesla. Yeah, Charlie Richardson says, I love the creativity. So this is right outside the St. Patrick's Cathedral. Important Documents says, what index fund do you like? So the only index funds that I personally use are the Vanguard index funds that track the S&P 500. And Vanguard is a company that was founded by Jack Bogle, or John Bogle. And he was really the first one to bring about awareness to the egregious fees in the mutual. Back in the day when you wanted to buy, let's say, a specific mutual fund, and a back-end load fee, and on top of that you would have to pay a yearly management fee, which is sometimes it was like 2 or 3%, regardless if the fund makes money or not. So John Bogle, what he said, he's like, what if we could give everyday retail investors the ability to buy the overall broad stock market with an extremely low expense ratio? And that's exactly what he did with the Vanguard index funds that track the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And these fees every year are extremely, extremely low. Oftentimes less than 0.5 percentage point. Hey, Georgie says, what do you think about CUNY Brooklyn? I went to CUNY John Jay, but all the CUNY schools are pretty good. I think it's very good value. TYC says Verizon, yes. Hey, Christopher Downer's here. Says, I'm flying tomorrow to the Big Apple. Awesome, Christopher. I think you're gonna have a good time. NB05. How are you? Atomic Dog says, what are your thoughts about horses in New York City? I'm sort of neutral about that. A lot of people are upset that the horses are in New York City, but I'm not. I don't really care, to be honest. Have I ever been to Wyoming? I have not been to Wyoming yet, but I do plan on going to Wyoming. Alves says, hi friend, how are you? Bonham says, love Vanguard, it works for me. Agreed, Bonham. NNB045 says, what's the difference between an ETF and an index fund? So an ETF stands for exchange traded fund, right? So exchange traded fund. So ETFs are mainly, they're meant to be products to trade. Index funds tend to be more of long-term investments, right? So an index fund, many people will buy these and hold them forever. But the real point of an ETF was a product that Wall Street came out with to really trade options products on them. But now, you know, there's ETFs, like Vanguard has an ETF that is called VOO that just tracks the S&P 500, and many people use that just to buy and hold for their retirement accounts. But an index fund, a traditional index fund, usually tracks a major benchmark indice. But an exchange traded fund is usually has a fund manager that manages a basket of stocks in a specific sector. Hey, Navi says, thanks for the tour, Tom. Be safe until next time. Hey, Navi, we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you have a good Monday. Important documents is, how do I see the books you recommend? I believe the Nightbot, if you look for some of the comments that the Nightbot drops, those are all the books that I recommend. Hey, Carol H says, good evening from Puerto Rico. What's up, Carol? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. JX says, can you compare VOO and SPY? Yeah, so they're essentially the same thing. However, SPY has a little bit of a higher expense ratio. So if you want to buy and hold SPY, it's going to cost you a little bit more money as opposed to holding VOO. But many people use SPY to trade options on. But they are very similar nonetheless. But the only difference is that SPY has a little bit of a higher expense ratio. Hey, Julius Caesar's here, says I'd go rollerblading down the street here with my stereo on my back in the 80s. Very cool. Hey, Nessie Boss says, have you ever visited Cork City in Ireland? I have not, but I would like to. Sixth Street. David is talking about the Tesla batteries. So I think I'll just make my train if we speed it up a little bit. So we're gonna walk back to 34th Street and we're here on 45th. Anthony says, were you always in tech sales or did you pivot? Anthony, so I always was in tech sales. Out of college, originally I wanted to work in investment banking in the sales and trading division of the investment bank. But then a lot of people were convincing me to just go into tech sales, either working at a traditional telecommunications company or in pure play SaaS or software as a service sales. Hey, Alexander with 40 Russian ruble, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Photos from around New York, says Tom, I eagerly anticipate you writing your own book someday. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you, photos. Hey, Sub-Zero says, what's up, everybody? What's up, Sub-Zero? Good to have you. Hey, Michael says, oi. What is my favorite tech company? I would say Salesforce. I'd probably say Salesforce. Man, it is so windy here. It's like such a steady stream of wind. Hey, Lou King says shout out from California. So this is the New York Public Library right here. Alexandria says, what is the temperature right now? It's probably like 40 something, maybe 43. Okay, I'll have to quickly show you guys this. So this is the Chrysler building right in front of you. Beautiful building. And then this one right here is the One Vanderbilt building. Photos from around New York, you already know. There we go. Steven Schwarzman leverage buyout. New York Public Library, like clockwork. Photos, what did you do this weekend? Anything fun? Hope you had a good weekend. Hey, Rolly Cannoli's here. What's up, Rolly Cannoli? Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. Happy Sunday. Yeah, I know. Sunshine After Rain says, love the Chrysler building. I love it too. Hey, walking with RR says 2-hour walk is a good exercise. You know, I'm curious to see how many miles we've done so far. Because when we used to skateboard on the stream, We could go like 20 miles in one night. So this is the Stephen Schwartzman Building, New York Public Library. Troy 1995 says, do you run? I do run. What about you, Troy? Photos says I had a holiday party with my buds. A ton of fun. That's awesome, man. Sin City family, how are you? Glenn Daly says, hey Tom, season's greetings everybody from New Zealand. Back here again for the latest currency lowdowns. What's going on? Hey Miguel, thank you Miguel. Says thanks for this moment, Tom and staff. Thanks for the tip on ETF and index, VOO and SPY. Hey Miguel, thank you. Appreciate it, Miguel. Yeah, so Miguel, the only difference between SPY and VOO is the expense ratio. But Miguel, I think a good book that you would really like, if you want to know the ins and outs of an ETF or exchange traded fund or a mutual fund, I would read the book Common Sense Investing by John Bogle. Common Sense Investing by John Bogle. The Swan says Tom was doing 20 to 25 miles per night for the first month, and we were looking at him. Yeah, the Swan. So the Swan was one of my first viewers on the stream. It was the Swan, Cosmo Scary, Sunshine After Rain. And we used to have this skateboard, and we used to do 25 miles in one night in Manhattan. It was wild. Those were good times. We'll do it again. I've just been busy with work. We'll do it. Oops, somebody's calling me. Ren1018 says, Tom, the other day you mentioned that you think the stock market has 5 years before the Fed pulls the plug. I don't know about exactly 5 years, Ren10. But maybe I said something along those lines because if we look at the growth trajectory of a lot of these companies, I'll give you an example, like Alphabet. This company has been compounding out its earnings at a compounded annualized growth rate of around 25% plus for the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years. And a lot of big tech companies are forecasting similar growth rates. But on the other hand, what we have to understand is that a lot of these business models, the as a service or software as a service business models, they really only work in an environment where rates are really low. This is the Empire State Building here from 37th Street and 5th Avenue. Always love looking at that view. Yeah, damn blocks says that would be fun, skating distance around the city like that. Well, we're gonna do it again. I just haven't had the skateboard in a long time, maybe like the past couple weeks. Hey, Sin City fam, what's going on? Good to see you. So here's another good view of the Empire I'll show you guys. Hey, Georgie is here. Says, have you seen the MIT free online courses? If you have, do you think you can compare it with the stuff you learned in college? I just want to prove to myself I don't need college to learn. Well, I think it's, so here's what I'll say about that. I think if you go to college to study like English, it's probably not worth it. The ROI or return on investment is probably not worth it, right? But let's say you go to college to study some sort of STEM field or engineering or something like that. Well, then you're probably going to get your money back. But by and large, I think college is not worth it if you're going to a private school to study liberal arts. Right? If you're going to spend 70 grand a year to study liberal arts, you probably shouldn't do that. Because you're probably not going to come out of school getting a job that's going to be able to pay back your student loans with a liberal arts degree. But if you study engineering or STEM, then you probably will. But I do agree the vast majority of information is out there for you to learn yourself. And I believe the terminology is called being an autodidact. I believe. Oh man, that wind was brutal. That was like about a mile stretch of just wind right to the face. Ah, yes, sunshine after rain. We would go into bookstores, I remember that. That was a blast. Yeah, but the vast majority of information is out there for you to learn yourself. You can pretty much teach yourself anything within reason. But obviously, if you're going to be a doctor or an engineer, then you need to go to college and get a formalized degree. But I think that, especially nowadays with the internet, you know, I think the liberal arts degrees are not good. Yeah, Joe Hernandez's liberal arts degree is like going to 13th grade. I know, Latha says stay away from the East River if you don't like the wind. Georgie says, thanks, I appreciate your answer. I am primarily interested in finance and economics. So, Georgie, there's a good podcast that you should listen to. It's by Peter Schiff. And Peter Schiff is the CEO and founder of Euro Pacific Capital. And I think if you want to learn real economics, not the Keynesian economics they teach you in college, because I was an economics minor and I learned all the garbage Keynesian economics in college. But if you want to learn real Austrian economics, I would listen to that Peter Schiff podcast, and I would also study Milton Friedman. Milton Friedman, very good economist. Man, this was one windy stream out here, guys. The Swan, what do you think? This is the Empire. Hey, Jeremiah Elias says hello from California. How was your Las Vegas trip? It was really good. It was really good. I had a good time. Hey, Joey NYM says, hey, Wall Street Escape Bro, I love your channel. Keep up the awesome work. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you, Joey. So now we are back here at Macy's. The Swan loves the Empire. Hey, Veronica says hello. Greetings from Peru. New York City, beautiful tonight. What's going on, everybody from Peru? NNB45. Joey says, I missed your trip to Vegas. Did you stream out there? So Joey, I didn't stream in Vegas because I was only there for like 12 hours. And I had to fly in real quick for a holiday party for one of my clients. Steve Buffalo says, time you don't care for Times Square. Indeed. Ah, Steve, got it. Bruce Wayne says Times Square became a zoo. Yeah, I can't go to Times Square. A lot of people, I always get requests to go to Times Square. I'm just not a big fan. I mean, maybe if we have the skateboard, I'll skateboard through there real quick, but not a big fan. Sam says, who goes to Vegas for 12 hours? You know what, Sam? Going to Vegas for that amount of time was just the right amount of time. I think I'm glad to be back. I'm not a big fan of Vegas. Hey, Alex says, hey, Tom, new to your channel and love it. Curious your thoughts on open door technologies. So I don't believe they're profitable, but I don't know too much about it to give you a conclusive sort of idea around it, but I will take a screenshot of this and get back to you tomorrow about open door technologies, but that is not a stock that I cover, but I don't believe they're profitable. But I will check it out tonight. I'll sift through some of the financials and I'll get back to you. But thank you for watching. Yeah, Cosmo Scary says you should go to Red Rock Canyon right near there and you'll become a fan of Vegas. I think the only thing about that, Cosmo, is I'm just not used to people smoking inside. That's the only thing. Does anybody, could I get one more quick time check here? Hey, Sam says, I hope when you come to Toronto, you could stay at least 13 hours. Oh, we definitely will. I love Toronto. Toronto is nothing like 11:40. All right, everybody, we do have to head out. So I'll leave you off with a view of the Empire. But thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you like the stream tonight, feel free to give it a like. Hope everybody had a great Sunday, great weekend, and we will see you right back here tomorrow on Monday. Carol H, thank you. Flex Stream, Bon Ham. Loria Jackson says, first timer, New York looks like a total different world. From Mississippi, good to have you. Chris, good to have you. Sunshine After Rain, thank you. Jared Covey, Steve Buffalo, Dams Block, Alec, thank you. Sam, Michael Johnson, Alan Wilson, Sunshine After Rain, Mark Davis, Mac 914, Lay the, Charlie Richardson, and everybody here, the Mighty Bull, Sally, Toshi, Sam, Georgie, Important Documents, and everybody, Otto, thank you. And to the Mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there is always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. And I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow. Isabella, thank you. Jonathan and Penelope, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks. And Elizabeth and Christopher. Take it easy, everybody.